This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Gladiator 2 is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Rated R. Years after the death of Maximus, Lucius is forced into the Colosseum after his home is conquered by tyrannical twin Roman emperors. With the future of the empire at stake, he must find strength and honor to return the glory of Rome to its people. Gladiator 2, now streaming on ParamountPlus.com.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy, that's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove those painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon Pharmacy and Amazon One Medical, healthcare just got less painful.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Adoption is not against God's plan. Don't sell out your beliefs for money or because some people are nice to you and other people are mean to you. And stay true to yourself and seek therapy in Carta.
Okay, that's an interesting name.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably coming out in like February, but still, a Happy New Year to people.
Okay.
But still. Yeah, it's an interesting name. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Random question. What size t-shirt do you wear?
I wear 2X large, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darn it. I'm still trying to find somebody that wears a medium because I want them to be able to like tell me what's going to happen in the future.
Oh, I like that medium. Nice. No, I'm just slightly too big for 1X, but like way too small for 3X. Like if I wear a 3X, it's like I'm wearing like a baggy, like a blanket over me or something. So it's way too big. But yeah, mediums are pretty cool. You haven't really heard much about mediums anymore. I think it's like they went out of style, like psychics and shit.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, 90s, you would actually go on TV and watch like a psychic just do like a radio show on TV and you could call them.
Yeah. And then they have like people like, I think like Dean Edwards or something was his name. I don't know what his name. I'm making that up. I don't know if that might be close to it. But there was like these, or those, or those like psychics that would go on like Montel Williams and stuff and predict the future and then try to help solve crimes, and then they'd get wrong and they'd give false hope to like parents whose kids are missing but are actually dead. So good time.
There was this dude in the 70s that used to debunk this stuff. Like they would invite like people on like what's his name? Wow, I'm like totally
Donahue or something?
Huh?
Like Donahue or something? Or
no, like the talk like late night show, like I forgot.
No, like Johnny Carson or something?
Yeah, sorry, Johnny Carson. Sometimes he would invite like someone, like this guy who claimed that he could like open up a thing to blow like the yellow page phone book or whatever with just his power, and then like the guy would be like, oh, it's interesting, and he put like these little like styrofoam things. Like these styrofoam things will do something so that, because he was saying like, oh, the electricity is different in this room, so I can't do it. And she's like, oh, okay, I got you covered. These things will make it so the electricity won't, interfere with what you're doing, and then it wouldn't work anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just off tonight,
It's like Harry Houdini, who was like like known as like a magician and escape artist and all that stuff. He was like determined to disprove any of these like mediums and people that would do this stuff, because his mom died and some people kept trying to tell him that he could talk to his mom after she died, and he just thought that was sick and disgusting, that people would try to do that to people and take advantage of them. He was a good friend of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote the Sherlock Holmes books, and I think that they had like this big falling out because of that. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's you could say that these like psychics on TV and, like you said, the medium guys, that they kind of cheat their way through life.
They do. That's a good point. And
yes,
I was building up to that too. So that's really good. Yes, because you today on this lovely evening or day or whenever it is that you're listening to this, we are going to break down, something, not my soul. That's already happened. But the film from 2002 called Cheats, also called Cheaters originally, came out in 2002. It was written and directed by Andrew Gerland, who is known as like primarily as a producer and showrunner of television shows like The Last Exorcism. Well, the movie, that is, I'm sorry, The Last Exorcism, but he's a producer of stuff like that, like the TV show, consultant producer on the TV show Reboot, the Netflix show Unstable right now, different things of that nature. And he's directed a bunch of TV and a couple movies, including The Virginity Hit and nothing else I've ever heard of. So the film stars a young Trevor Furman as Handsome, Matthew Lawrence of the Lawrence Brothers fame and Boy Meets World fame. Yeah, Trevor Furman, people may know from Clerks 2 and 3. He hasn't done a lot of acting, really, which is interesting. Yeah, he's Trevor Furman has 8 credits to his IMDb here. He's like did an episode of a TV show called Encore of the TV show Odd Man Out. He was in a movie that was directed by Jeff Anderson from Clerks and co-starred with him in this movie called Now You Know. That's how Kevin Smith discovered him for Clerks 2.
Oh,
yeah. So
I remember that movie.
Now You Know is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But yeah.
The one where it's like a clown, or is that?
No, that's something completely different. That's okay. That's Vulgar, which stars.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That stars Brian O'Halloran, the other guy from.
Okay.
Yeah, but so that's what Trevor Furman's known for, and like I said, Matthew Lawrence, who people know from Brotherly Love and Boy Meets World and things of that nature, stars as Victor. Alden Henson, who people may know from The Butterfly Effect, among other things, as Sammy. We have David Krumholtz in a small role as Evan Rosengarten. Maggie Lawson as Julie. Griffin Dunn as Mr. Davis, Handsome's dad. Mary Tyler Moore has Mrs. Stark. That's pretty much all the big names in this movie here.
This move.
Oh yeah. Oh, we also have where's she listed? Let me find her. Julie State's in this. Who'd she play? Jewel State, who people may know from Firefly, and she was in that was it Flash Forward TV show with what's his face, with Ben what was that guy's name? Ben
Foster?
Ben Foster, yeah.
Ben Foster? Yeah, Flash Forward Disney Channel show.
Yeah, she was in that.
She watched that junior high.
She's in a lot of things, but a lot of people know her from Firefly. Yeah. And then also Martin stars in this. I forgot that, as Appleby, and people will know Martin from Freaks and Geeks and Silicon Valley and like a million other things. He's an awesome
Party Down.
Yeah. So yeah, that's who we got here in this cast here. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but okay.
You're talking like a fake British guy.
So initial thoughts here, Sesame, on this film that we are covering.
I like it. I saw this with my brother in 2002 on HBO, middle of the night, probably around midnight, 1:00 in the morning. I've got a great memory. Don't make fun of me. And we thought it was hilarious at the time.
Now that you said I can't make fun of you, I'm not going to.
That's right, because that's how this works. Where you say don't do this, they'll listen to you. It's the world we live in, right? Yeah. If you say don't do this to me, they're like, oh well, I was going to, but now the rules. It's like swipey, don't swipe. Like you gotta listen. Sorry, swiper. Yeah,
yeah, and, yeah. I mean that when when you get pulled over for speeding, you're just like, don't give me a ticket, and then the cop
give me a ticket.
That's just how it works.
It's a legally binding contract. They cannot do it. And so we thought it was hilarious at the time. I remember watching it, I think, a couple other times during that summer. I think it was only maybe once actually. And I've been thinking about watching this again for a while, but I always forget to write things down. Like, oh, maybe we can cover this sometime. Maybe we can. I always just forget to put down a list. So that kind of just went off the wayside for like, I don't know, a few months. And then you asked me, if I was thinking of anything. I couldn't think of anything. So I just randomly thought about that for some reason. And I found out that it was on YouTube. So like, okay, cool, let's watch it. I still like it. I don't think it was as hilarious as it was when I was like 18. Like, I mean, like I thought it was like the funniest thing I'd ever seen, like when I watched it then. Like now I'm like, okay, it's got a few chuckles, like, like that's what happens when you grow and change and your appetite gets more refined.
Yes. When you're a child, you like Pop-Tarts, and then when you're an adult, you like other Pop-Tarts. No, wait.
I like Pop-Tarts. I mean, I still like Pop-Tarts. I mean,
I'm just joking. That's why I said that.
I know. No, I love strawberries. Probably my favorite. I also love s'mores, chocolate, wild berry. I like the wild berry. Cherry's too sweet for me. Can't do cherry. Yeah. There's a bunch of other flavors now. I didn't even realize they got like lemon. I think they got like Boston cream pie. They got all kinds of things.
And we're not sponsored by Pop-Tarts, but if Pop-Tarts would like to sponsor us, it's Mike at cullenpark.com. You can get a hold of me there.
Of all of the propaganda we've done for Pop-Tarts throughout the year, you can go back for a whole thing. We probably have done this to Pop-Tarts like 15 times. Like, just go on a whole rant about Pop-Tarts for some reason.
It's really funny that we've talked about we've talked about Pop-Tarts so much, but we've never covered the movie Unfrosted.
I'm never going to watch that movie. No.
I have no desire
to watch
to see that Zionist piece of shit in a movie.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
Oh boy. So here we go, folks. I like the movie. I do think it's pretty dated. And there are some very problematic like things in it here and there, but nothing.
Yes.
It's not like way, like bigoted or anything. So it's okay. But
no, not so much that.
The most problematic thing is in the credits.
Yes. Yeah. Even back then, when I saw it, I was like, "Whoa!"
So, anyway, so what goes down here in Cheatstown here?
Cheats 2002. So we start off with like close to the end of the movie, so it's doing that kind of thing where you start near the end, and then you go backwards, and then So
that was like
where they're.
Speaking of that, though, that was like huge back then, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like they would start a movie or like, something like Pulp Fiction where it would go all over the place. But it's just like, so, it was, there's always these things like when they have like you get to this point at the end and then be like, so you're probably wondering how I got to this point, sort of thing.
Hey. I mean, there's even a meme of that where people post it as a meme. Like, so it's, it was a big trope in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so they're setting on fire what looks like to be a book, and they're peeing on it. And it turns out it's a grade book, but then we go all the way back to the very beginning, and I mean the very beginning to like when they're like 5 years old. And this guy, his name was Handsome. His dad literally named him Handsome, and he's a single parent. Looks like they're kind of rich, or at least he's rich. Seems like.
And this movie, by the way, is based on true events. So
no, yeah, exactly. It's interesting, and then like he, he hated school, and he ends up meeting this other kid who also really hates school, and so they strike up a friendship, and they first get the idea of cheating when his friend Sammy, he can't. Is it math that he has a problem with, or spelling? I forgot which it was. And
spelling.
Spelling, and so Handsome basically like helps him cheat.
Mhm.
And that was like the first time they ever did that. And then they're like, oh, well, this worked out, so maybe we can just keep doing it. And so they pretty much just cheated their entire way through like kindergarten all the way to their senior year in high school, and they got more advanced with their techniques. They brought in like 2 other guys. They're now part of like a crew. The one dude writes, quote, crazy small. It's their words, not mine. And that's played by
Jonathan Appleby, played by Martin Starr, and it's they call him Cribs because he can write crib sheets really small. Yeah.
And my question with that though is, how would you even be able to read it if it's that small? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how would you even? Yeah, I don't understand. Like, how would you even be able to? Because you can't have a microphone of glass and clay. Like, what's this guy do? Like, Yeah. So how are you able to? Whatever. Who cares? Like, it's fine, and we don't need to get too into the weeds about the possibility.
Speaking of this, before we get too far into this, anyway, so have you ever cheated in school?
No, I haven't.
No, yeah, I didn't want to, but I did one time.
Oh yeah.
So I had this this calculator for my I think algebra 2 class or something that I let my friend borrow, and he had the class right before me, the same teacher, same test.
Oh yeah.
And it was a multiple choice test, and there was like a memory function in the calculator.
Oh no.
And you could type anything you wanted in there.
Oh no.
I opened up my calculator, and to thank me for lending my calculator, he put all the answers in there.
Oh my god.
And it's like I saw them and like I couldn't not cheat, you know what I mean?
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
When an opportunity like that comes your way, because you're not actively trying to cheat, fell into your lap, And
it wasn't even that, because I read the answers and I couldn't unread the answers. So it was like
no, right. I mean, yeah. Hey, that kind of scenario is fine. Yeah. It's a freebie. Who cares? Like, and but did you make sure that you didn't get 100%? That you got a few wrong on purpose?
I don't remember.
Okay. Because one of their rules for cheating, yes, there are rules for cheating, believe it or not.
Yes.
Is that you never get 100% on a test. You never sit next to someone who's also cheating. I think there was a third rule, I don't remember. But and so yeah, they go through junior high. They were giving this one guy his dad's porn as a trade for, which I'm pretty sure, by the way, it was illegal pornography, but that's another conversation. But like, I'm just, I mean, that's a whole other thing, but we can get to that later. But like, I'm pretty sure multiple crimes. Like, so I'm just saying. And
I really think that because he was giving him pornography, that it was his dad's pornography.
Right.
And I think somehow in that situation, because the kid that they were giving him to was underage. So I think technically the dad could have gone to jail for this.
Well, but he wasn't the one who gave it. Someone stole it from him, though.
He stole it from him, but I still think he might have been on the hook because he left it in the open in his house and his child got it. Even his own child getting a hold of it, I think, could have been illegal. So
I see. You have to have a lock and key shit. Okay, all right. I mean, it kind of makes sense though if you think about it. But I
mean, I know that. I mean, luckily it wasn't like underage pornography or anything, but I do know that like if you're like say you're like 17 or whatever the law is in your state or whatever, you're underage, and your girlfriend is as well, or your girlfriend or boyfriend is, and you send like sexy photos to your girlfriend or boyfriend, you technically can get arrested as an underage kid for child pornography. Even if obviously you're producing it of yourself and just sending it to your girlfriend or boyfriend, but still, yeah.
Well, yeah, that too, but it could also spread because you could send to someone else, and then that person starts going throughout the school, and before you know it, I mean, this stuff's. I mean, God, I mean, like how many times, even when there was no phones, people would start a rumor, and by the end of the day, almost the whole school would know. You know what I mean? So like that's how, and that was even before phones and social media. So
yeah, I mean,
I think we talked about that. Well, what?
Remember that time that there was a rumor spread around about me that I was Will Smith's cousin? No, there wasn't.
Oh, really? But I think we covered this law when we were reviewing the Bandcamp American Pie.
Yeah, I'm sure
where the guy films the girls' locker rooms while they're undressing and taking showers.
Yes, and they were.
Yep. They were yeah. So a lot of these movies, they don't really think these things through. I think they're just like, oh, this seems funny. Like,
I mean, even the original American Pie, when Jim has the foreign exchange student girl over,
oh, right,
and they broadcast it on the internet. So
yes, a live stream, like one of the very first live streams.
it was like accidental, but still, like he was just trying to send. Oh, actually, it got out to everybody accidentally, I think, but he was just trying to send it to like his friends or some bullshit. Even that was just disgusting.
That's what it was, and somehow it got out to everyone. And there was like this big cameo with Blink-182 where they were were watching it as well, something. Yeah, so like a lot of these movies, especially like in the 90s, 80s, and early 2000s, and so many crime and also sex crimes particularly are committed like throughout the whole movie, and like nobody bats an eye about it. They're like, dude, this is a felony. Like you can like get like hard prison time for this. Like,
just makes me wonder, like, if anybody's defense was, like they got caught doing something similar, and it's like, well, I saw it in American Pie, so I can,
yeah, well, American Pie said it was okay, so technically, Eugene Levy's got my back. He's like, hey man, I know. I was in the movie. I understand what's going on. He's fine, I mean, you can't say no to Levy. So,
and then they point out to you that Eugene Levy's Canadian, so it doesn't matter. So I'm joking.
Damn it, that's right. I forgot about that. Whatever, fine. Who cares? And so anyway, now that we've talked there about our knowledge of law when it comes to different forms of pornography, which is weird, but okay.
Take no legal advice from this podcast.
No, we're not lawyers. Don't take any legal, especially if you're listening to this. Really, I mean, come on.
Yes.
At that point, you deserve anything that happens to you, really, because you should know better, really. But anyway, we're a bullshit podcast. We talk about movies and we get weird about it. Who cares?
We're not even a legal podcast. So in those you shouldn't take advice from either, because they're not your lawyer.
We're not legal ego. Like we're not like Cut Rate or Dime Store legally.
Like, even him, he says not to take all the legal advice from him, because you should
exactly.
If you're in trouble with the law in any way, you should consult a real lawyer that lives in your town. I'm just saying
that. And also too, don't go online and search for shit, because they're gonna use that against you. What? Like it's like the people who murdered someone, and then they're like, on their Google search it says how to hide a dead body or something like that. It's like, yeah, there you go, you're caught. It's like you practically put cuffs on yourself. Like
how to make a bomb that can blow up the World Trade Center.
Exactly. You're like, oh man, I can't believe I got caught with that one. I didn't know that my internet ISP would be looking into my stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so he gives them the dude porn. He gives them like some of their like, it was like a science project, it looked like, or something. Just some weird thing with like,
yeah, and then
guessing or something.
And then basically, I think it was like they were creating the model of like a DNA strand or something. And then but he gets in trouble because the mom finds the porn, and it's like some really bad porn that's like outrageously disgusting. So
vulgar, vile, yeah, I know. So his dad's like super embarrassed because he's like, "Oh, I'll handle it," but then his son is like, "Oh, yes, daddy," stuff like that. Like,
and I guess later on it's revealed that the porn was like dog porn. I don't even know what that means.
I think it's illegal. I'm pretty sure bestiality is illegal in every
my thing is like, is this porn of humans having sex with animals, or is it porn of two dogs having sex with each other? I
think either way it's illegal. I mean, yeah. I don't know, but maybe not. I mean, I would guess, but
my thing, I mean, I'm just weird, I guess. I just don't understand how anybody can get off on that. But then again, in Clerks 2, we have a donkey joke.
That's right. So the former is definitely illegal. The latter, maybe not. But even if not, the fact that you get off to dogs is already super weird. So even if crime has not been committed, that's like a moral crime.
Yes.
I mean, so I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, that's weird. That's all I got to say. That's very strange.
I mean,
and then
you can be attracted or whatever your kink is, it's fine, but usually it should involve humans consenting.
Yeah, exactly. I would say so, but hey, this is the early 2000s, so apparently it was different back then, I guess. I like how everyone's like, oh, when time goes on, people get more and more immoral. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that's not necessarily true because I don't see any movies today talking about dog porn. So, like, I don't know.
Well, I did hear that there's a movie coming out in 2025 just called Dog Porn. And it's just joking.
I'm not watching it, no. Anyway, I think we spent too much time talking about our views and knowledge of the law. Not really. Don't even take it for granted. All right, so what else happens?
So anyways, then they have to find new ways to cheat, and they find out that, you know, they steal the keys from the janitor so they can open up every door in the school and basically steal the tests from the teachers' desks and stuff, which I'm like, what teacher is just going to leave their tests? I mean, I don't know. Anyways,
I know.
They do that, but then eventually that gets found out, and they have the help of their friend Appleby, who can write down the things on little, you know, pieces of paper that you can stick inside of a gum wrapper, and he so that's, you know, that's his deal. So he helps him out by writing the answers really small. And the principal, I mean, Miss Stark, Mary Tyler Moore's character. Yeah, Mary Tyler Moore is in this movie. I'm sorry, this is just weird to me.
It is, no.
You know, Mary Tyler Moore from the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Dick Van Dyke Show. Yeah, it's just like weird.
I don't know.
But anyways, she finds out that people are breaking in through the thing, so they change all the locks in the school. And then they come up with a new plan somehow to figure this out. And I was confused on this thing.
So I think what the plan was that they were going to have to like get the new keys, essentially, you know. And so the plan was everyone was going to get detention on purpose so that they would have to go help clean out the school. So they had an excuse to be wandering the halls. And then Appleby was supposed to stand by the elevator to like signal that the janitor dude is, you know, coming. So like make sure that, you know, you don't vicious to get everything you need to get done. And Appleby got scared. And so he left his post. And then the janitor, you know, came in and stuff, and he's like, what, you know, where are your garbage bags? You know, because you're supposed to be cleaning the school. And then Handsome got the idea to hide up in the ceiling.
Yeah, like he was crawling through the ceiling originally because he was trying to get into the there was something with like the counselor's files or something like that.
Is that, I don't know. I don't really know what that one was about. I'm not even sure why. Why would you need
because it was
to read someone's
find the files for Teddy, who Jewel State plays. Teddy Blue is her name. Getting her file for some reason. So she could find out what the counselor was saying about her.
Yeah, okay.
And
because that was to get her on board for her, you know, committing the crimes with them.
Yeah.
Mind you, I forgot to mention, this is like a really like posh school, like, you know, like a very fancy private school. I mean, the school looks like pristine. And so this is not your like run of the mill public school. Because at one point they're like, oh man, public school sounds so much fun to do, you know, type of thing. And and so the plan failed because of Appleby. And then
he was worried that Handsome was going to read his file in there.
That's what it was. Yes. Because he got a weird file about him, apparently. And so the janitor sees like the dust, you know, probably the asbestos falling. So they're all going to get cancer now, but falling from the ceiling. And then he's like, something fish, because he's Asian. So they got to do the Asian stereotype of like, oh, he doesn't understand.
They painted the Asian janitor as being stupid. And that really bothered me.
Well, I didn't really get the think he was stupid. I thought it was just like he was
one time say
like
that
he didn't understand.
He didn't know. I mean, like the fact that they start, you know, giving their names or whatever, and they all come up with names based on presidents. And, you know, Handsome goes by Jimmy Carter, which is ironic because today we're watching this and Jimmy Carter just passed away as we record.
Right, exactly.
So, but I mean, my thing is like, I understand if you're from another country not knowing presidents, but Jimmy Carter was a rather recent president at that time, and he was still in the news and stuff. So I don't think that. And then like he mentioned like one of them went by Teddy Roosevelt and then Franklin Delano Roosevelt. These are like really famous presidents.
Yeah.
Like, how would he not know those? That's what I'm getting at.
Those are the ones that you would actually learn about, like when you're taking like a citizenship test. Like you wouldn't be like, oh, who's Bill Clinton or who is Al Gore? You know what I mean? Like they would be talking about like the famous ones. You know, like
the Jimmy Carter one better than I can the Teddy Roosevelt one. That's just like,
yeah. And so, and like of course, Applebee's like, dumbass, those two are related to each other. It's like he doesn't give a shit. And Applebee freezes, calls himself Napplebee.
Yeah.
And so the one guy, Victor, is always now teasing him forever by calling him Napplebee because he like fucked up their plan. But I guess their plan was, I guess we were talking about this earlier about denial.
Yeah.
And how that's like a fascist technique. So apparently Handsome was like a pre-Trump supporter, like where he just repeats a lie. So like the janitor, of course, finds him pretending to take a nap inside the ceiling. He's like, dude, get out here. What the hell's going on? And then he's like, what are you doing in the ceiling? He's like, I wasn't in the ceiling. He's like, yeah, I just saw, no, I wasn't in the ceiling. I'm like, okay, so you're just telling a blatant lie. Like everybody knows you were in the ceiling. Like everybody saw it. He's like, nope, no one saw it. So that's pre-Trump. He's actually, my headcanon is that he was actually Don Jr., but like they made him a fictional character. And so we just learned from the best, you know, just deny. Not like in the health insurance world, but you know, that's a different story. But like anyway, and so they like, that's why he's asking their names, you know, Jimmy Carter, Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and then Napplebee. He said his whole name except for Apple. He's like Jonathan Jacob Napplebee, when his name is Jonathan Jacob Applebee. So it's like, dude, I'm pretty sure they know who you are now.
Yep.
My other thing about that too is, so the janitor has authority to like turn students in too. It's not like a janitor is like some lowly person who can't like do anything. Like he could easily take them to the principal's office and then she's gonna know who these kids are. It's not like, oh, I don't know who this guy is. Like, oh, it's just his name's Jimmy Carter. Well, who's the student? Like, what? Like,
it's Jimmy Carter, but he looks just like Handsome. Like, so whatever. Which
not only that though,
really
he's a student that she constantly talks to. Yeah.
Yeah, Handsome is a really weird first name, but yeah.
It is. No, it's strange. It is. I don't like it personally. I don't. That's like naming a girl Pretty. I mean, I guess technically, I still don't like it. It's weird to me, but
I guess it's better than naming your kid Ugly.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I mean, there is a theory that like whatever you name your child, like that child is supposed to like exhibit those traits. So maybe his dad did that like a favor to him, like, oh, you're handsome, so now you're going to be handsome.
There's the reverse theory that you give your kid a stupid name and then it toughens them up or something, So
I was just telling my mom about this the other day. I think it was my niece. How like after 9/11, there was a lot of parents that had named their sons Jihad because it just means like it's like a common Arabic name, like a lot of people have it. I mean, it's not the most common. Like Muhammad's like the most common Arabic name, but like Jihad is sort of somewhat common. And they're like went and changed their names right after 9/11 because they're like, I'm not gonna have like my 8-year-old son named Jihad and go to the playground. But like it was one guy was like, no, I'm not changing it because I want him to be like proud of who he is. I'm like, dude, like I get what you're saying, but man, like
it's like I knew a girl at the time named Isis.
Well, that was before
Well, I mean,
that's like the Egyptian goddess, right? That's different than
named after the Egyptian goddess. She was Egyptian, and her name was Isis. And I just thought that was. I mean, people used to make fun of her and stuff like this. I was in college and stuff, and it's just like she was in one of my classes, and I'm like, I felt so bad for her. But yeah,
why would you make? Okay, fine. Oh, you're named after a god, loser.
No, this was after ISIS became like a bad terrorist organization.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah. So she was already named ISIS before ISIS became a bad name, So I'm just saying. Yeah.
I remember too the band ISIS. They were like a metal band, sort of like, I don't know what you would even describe them, like a slow metal band. And I thought they were, I don't know if they did, but I heard that they were like thinking of changing their name.
Yeah, there was a restaurant too. I remember reading online at that time that was called ISIS like cuisine or something, and they had to
that's crazy. So
we got this whole now we have a running gag with the Jimmy Carter thing. So like every time the guy sees him, he's like Jimmy Carter, like, oh great, okay, fine, it's funny, I get whatever. Of course, at the time I was like, that's so funny, it's hilarious. Now I'm like, okay, fine. and so there's like a B plot. There's like several B plots. So like at some point, Sammy doesn't want to cheat anymore because he likes this girl who's helping him study, and now he wants to like actually like learn for real, Yeah. So what happens like after that then?
So basically they get a bunch of group of people together, like, because they basically what's happening is they find out that they have to. There's one scene that's kind of awkward where physics teacher or something who I guess they think is gay. The way that they steal the answers to his test is by having Handsome flirt with him, basically, and then tell him about how he's afraid to come out or whatever, basically, that he's having these thoughts about the boys in the locker room and stuff. And yeah, that was really weird.
It must be an autism thing, because I did not get that he was flirting with them until when they literally said it at the end, like, you made me flirt with Mr. And I started thinking like, oh yeah, all the times that girls were flirting with me, I had no idea whatsoever. Like nothing, like no clue. And I always thought that I could pick up on these things, but apparently I can't, because I thought he was just like trying to like have the teacher feel sorry for him, like, oh, it's okay to be gay, type of thing. Like,
I think it was a combo of the things, but it was kind of like, yeah. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, I went through that thing too, where I never knew when women were flirting with me, period. Because like I don't know if I'm on the spectrum at all, but I know I am neurodivergent, so it's kind of hard to, and I'm kind of I don't know, introvert sort of thing. But yeah, so I'm an introvert and extrovert, so it's like kind of I'm both. So
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So the basically that happens, and so they steal the test results, and then they freeze out Appleby because he fucked up in this other thing where he didn't watch the elevator. So they freeze him out from being able to cheat this, and they have Sammy writes down the answers on little pieces of gum paper, and they take the tests, and then the test results come out later, and Sammy and Victor and Handsome all got good grades when everybody else was kind of failed, because it was a test that was made to basically be, to fail.
Yeah.
Like unpassable test. And they were all going to get in trouble, but then Handsome basically plays up his sexuality type thing, and takes his shirt off and is all upset and everything. And he's like, I studied, I'll take the test right now. And he takes his shirt off and is like pounding his chest, like he's in Lord of the Flies or something. And yeah. And so that happened. And then so basically Handsome gets off on that and doesn't get in trouble. We learn later on in the movie, which I can say now because people have probably seen the movie if they're talking about this, is that he actually didn't cheat on that test. He actually did pass.
They just wanted to, have a group of friends, doing the same thing together. Mm-hmm. Which is weird too, because Victor broke rule number 3. He got 100% on the test that was unpassable.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't know. Like, get like a 70%, maybe 72% for a test that, because he said like almost everyone else got like a 58%. So 72 to 58 is not that bad, but like 85, 100%, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
so they all get, so Victor and Sammy basically get mad at Handsome for, weaseling his way out of the things, and they get blamed for a lot of the stuff. Whereas Handsome doesn't. Then Sammy just basically decides that he doesn't want to cheat anymore. And then, like you said, he was into Julie, this girl in the class. Then what happens there?
So like, yeah, he's kind of like going clean, he's honest or whatever. And then, Handsome's like kind of mad at him. Sammy ends up forming student court, which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently is. And
well, some schools have stuff like that.
What's that?
Some schools have stuff like that. We had something similar to that, I think, at Central when I went there. So yeah.
Yeah, so he does that for like an extracurricular probably, and he's like able to sort of help students out, like get them a better deal if they, commit a crime again or whatever. And so everyone's kind of mad at him for that. He's kind of going off in a different way, but he still wants to be friends with them. Victor still hates Appleby, keeps calling him Appleby to the point where Appleby's about to punch him just from all the pent up rage they, got for him. And then they have this grand idea where they're like, okay, we're practically going to get the whole school on board for like this one last test, and somehow it's not going to fail. And so, because they don't have Appleby with them this time, because he's still frozen out, they do bring him back later on, but at this point, they still got him frozen out, where they're having to memorize a song where each letter of each word is like the test. And so they just like learn the song.
Yeah, I think the song, the like first letter of each word was like the answer on the thing. Like if it was like if the word began with A, the answer was A, and so on.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And that's a little bit trickier because if you like lose the sequence, then you fucked everything up, So
and
that
the way
one's a little bit.
But the way they got the answers for this test is from the kids of the teacher.
Oh right, yeah, I totally forgot about these dudes. Oh my god.
Yeah, there was these kids that are named Greedy and Horny. Yep. That's all they go by. I mean, that's what they are in the credits, but that's not their real names.
No, but that's what they call them.
They're adopted kids from the one teacher. And at one point, they used to do gymnastics with Victor when they were younger. And there was
he's like 10 years older and whatever.
Yeah. So there's like this girl that they knew there that was like supposedly like, well, they're both like about 15. He's probably about 17.
They
or
look
so.
Like they're like 10.
I know. They just didn't have their growth spurts yet, So he tries to convince them with money and stuff, and Greedy was fine with the money, but then Horny intervened and wasn't going to allow it and stole the results, and finally they got him out of there by promising that this girl that was around in gymnastics was going to give them hand jobs, even though Victor doesn't know her really at all. So was kept promising that, Yeah, so basically he was prostituting out a girl that he doesn't even know. So yeah, trying to at least.
Underage kids though, so another sex crime. Trafficking and also trafficking towards minors. So corruption of minors / trafficking. Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's probably about 20 years right there. Good luck, Victor. Good luck.
Yeah. So that's what he promised. He got the results or whatever, and then they created the song. And but by this point, Appleby was back in, but they were just doing the song instead. So yeah, they all pass the test, and then what happens? I'm trying to remember.
So let's see here. So pretty much like everyone's gotten into their colleges, whoever is going, but they have one particular teacher who's like so obsessed with the rules that she's still treating her class like it's like they're in freshman year, like they have to like really hunker down and work hard, and just this test is going to be 80% of your grade type thing or whatever. It's all about her grade book. That's what the kids, I think, going to steal her grade book, right? Is that what it was? And then and so eventually, Handsome like does this speech after she leaves the room, like talking about like they always threaten us with an F and a permanent grade and or permanent record and all that stuff, and we're gonna say no to Fs. And then Victor's like, and we're gonna say no to all grades. And so they're like pumping each other up. They're like, let's steal the book. And so then they have like a big rager at Handsome's house. His dad is there at one point partying, it looks like, for like a split second. I'm like, okay, so your dad is at your rager that he allowed you to throw.
Well, it's probably like a graduation party, but whatever.
Maybe that's what it was.
He's also able to hold over his dad's head the fact that his dad had dog porn.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He told him.
His speech that he gives a couple times is like something he says, the greatest hoax in the history of institutionalized education is the myth of the permanent record.
Right.
Which I think is true because there is no such thing really as a permanent record.
Yeah, I always wondered about that too. I'm like, is that really like a thing? Like, I mean, I guess if you got expelled, that would, count against you, I'm thinking, but like, detention is going to be on your permanent record or like, whatever. Like,
it'll be on your record, but I mean, once you get into college, nobody cares what happened in high school,
If you got expelled, though, I think maybe that might be an exception. I don't know, but
you might. But my thing is you might not get into college, but it doesn't matter once you are in college. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Yeah. I get what I understand.
They're not going to care that, you got an F in algebra in junior year or whatever. They're not going to care,
No, they're not. And so they piss on the book. They're doing Sword fighting. Victor
and they set it on fire. Yeah.
But then we find out, though, afterwards that now the school's going to cancel the senior trip, and everyone's bummed out about that. And now, they can't bring the book back because it's destroyed now, so they can't even do that.
They're cancel it unless the book is returned. So yeah,
so it's impossible. And then so she's like, okay, well, who did it? So then someone snitches, but everyone's trying to figure out who did it. So Victor, of course, thinks it's Apple. Still calls him Appleby, and he didn't do it. It turns out that Julie, Sammy's friend, who helps him study, she did it because she wanted to go on a senior trip, and she.
Actually, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't Julie. Oh, okay.
No, it was Greedy and Horny.
Oh, that's right. Greedy and Horny did it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was nobody.
Forgot.
Yeah, it was nobody in the school. It was actually Greedy and Horny.
Oh, right. Okay.
Maybe Julie did it as well, but she didn't do it. Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense. Oh, sorry, Handsome was threatening to tell school that she did. Okay, never mind. Okay, now I forgot. And I think that's the part too where he's like, Jimmy Carter, the janitor shows up randomly, I guess, for some reason. And then I'm like, so is this janitor now just roaming the school parking lot, like, as well as like inside the school, like, just looking for Jimmy Carter? Apparently, anyway. So
aren't we all looking for Jimmy Carter? Aren't we all looking for Jimmy Carter?
We're all looking for Jimmy. Well, that's a good song or like a band. We're all looking for Jimmy Carter.
Yeah,
like a punk band, like a not a pop punk band, kind of like I guess kind of like a Blink-182 band. We're all looking for Jimmy Carter. I guess that would work for them. Anyway, not like emo punk, but like anyway. So they have this really nice graduation ceremony outside because the school is huge and they got a lot of land. It's pretty. And then it turns out, like you said, Handsome actually passed the test on his own because he studied.
Yeah.
And then like, wait a minute, I can't believe you did that. And then it's like, yay! And now we're all friends again. And then do you want to do the really problematic thing, or do you want me to say the really problematic thing?
So there are two kind of problematic things at the end in the credits. Yeah. So in the credits they tell you like what happened afterwards. Basically, they basically agree that they can walk during graduation, but they have to make up this class in summer school. It turns out that the physics teacher is the summer school teacher, so they get away with it by one of them wearing a crop top and the other one wearing hot pants. Yeah, so
I must have that part.
Yeah, that was one of the things. And then the second thing is it talks about Sammy and Julie. They start dating or whatever, and says that they eventually have sex. He eventually had sex with Julie, but then she woke up.
Yeah, no, so Sammy started having sex with Julie, then she woke up and stopped him. I'm like, what? That's rape?
That's rape.
Like literally, that's and by that point you're 18, so you're legally an adult. So I remember even when I saw that the very first time way back like 22 years ago, I was like 18. I was just like, even back then I was like, whoa, like that's like I didn't even laugh at that part. Like I was like, that actually is not funny, that part, like
not at all. So yeah.
Whoa, so I was vote in 2002. Sorry, go ahead.
That's the movie.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's it. Yeah, hour and a half, decent time, pacing.
So as far as like trivia goes, the only thing that that we got here is that many of the events in the story actually happen. Even the scene in which Handsome starts bashing the lockers and ripping off his shirt when Harkin accuses him of and his friends of cheating on the test, I guess happened in reality.
Wow.
The real there was a documentary on the DVD for this movie about that included the real people. I hope I can find that somewhere, but I can't. I don't know. The real Appleby refused to take part in the documentary based on the actual cheats. As such, his name had to be censored whenever used. So Appleby might not even be his real name, but yeah. So yeah, and though it was filmed for theaters and having had a lot of marketing done by the studio, the film's theatrical release was canceled at the last minute, and it premiered on HBO and Cinemax instead. This was New Line Cinema's only film not to be broadcast on Starz, despite their long pay TV deal with Starz since 1995. It wasn't until 2005 New Line moved their pay TV deal with HBO and Cinemax.
So that makes sense why I watched on HBO then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So that's what's up there. That's what's up.
And also, you said it was originally called Cheaters, but wasn't there another movie called Cheaters? So they had to change it.
There was a movie 2 years earlier called Cheaters, and so they changed the name of it so it didn't get confused with that. But IMDb still has it listed as Cheaters.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's technically called Cheats and everything. The other movie that starred Jeff Daniels and Jenna Malone was here's the synopsis for that movie. It says one teacher and his students know they can win the state's academic contest with the right amount of study, the right application, and the right answers. When one of them steals the test papers, will they cheat their way to the trophy? So
yeah, there you go.
So they didn't want to get confused with that. So yeah. So that's all. Anything else you got to say about this?
No, just don't commit crimes, especially sex crimes. Don't try to traffic a woman that you don't even know for sexual acts on two minors. Don't molest someone while they're sleeping. Don't possess dog porn, let alone leaving it so that someone could just find it. Like
these should be things that people know not to do, I think.
Yeah, they should know not to do. But I got to remind them because, don't with your teacher pretending to be gay and exploiting his sexuality for your own personal academic gain. That's another one.
Another thing, just don't cheat. Don't cheat in general.
Just don't cheat. Just study. Study for like an hour.
See, the thing is, it's like I've said, though, in this world right now, we don't have good role models that teach kids not to do this because basically, in my opinion, if you're a parent and you voted for Donald Trump, you cannot punish your kids for cheating, stealing, or even like sexual assault. I'm just saying, you can't.
I mean, yeah, you've given him the role model that, and so get ready for no education. So kids are just going to be roaming the streets throughout the day, and you're going to be like, oh shit, like they actually like have to go somewhere, right? So maybe they should go back to school. But at that point, it's too late. So. Good job.
Yeah. So the future looks bright, and you know what? I mean, we could really find out. If only I could slim down a little bit and get into a medium T-shirt. Then we would know what the future holds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes, it does, because that's the only way you can, tell the future is if you can wear a medium T-shirt, right?
Yes, that's the new medium. That's what you have to do. Yes,
I'm understanding this correctly, right?
It's the criteria to be a medium. You have to do that. Yes.
Yes. You have to be skinny enough to wear a medium T-shirt.
Yeah, those are the rules.
Anyways, folks, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode and all of our episodes. Go to all2real2.com and you can find all of the episodes there. You can find our links to our social medium. Anyways, so find it all there. Also, be sure to comment on this on YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, comment below. It helps out. Give it a star or a thumbs up. Give us a 5-star review over on Apple Podcast or Spotify or any of those places you can do that. And, do it, spread the word, tell your friends, walk up to a stranger, tell them to check out all2real2.com and, be good to each other. Remember that I love you. Don't cheat.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Sesame loves you.
I do.
Trans lives are human lives. Fuck the Christo-fascist patriarchy. Free Palestine. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.